Hey everyone, Dylan here, and welcome to the review for March 10th, 2025's episode of WWE Monday Night Raw. I don't know, do they still call it Monday Night Raw, or is it just Raw? Whatever, we're getting into the show. It starts off showing shots of New York City because we're in the illustrious Madison Square Garden tonight. Off the bat, I just want to pick a little bone with them to pick, so I think that's the expression I'm looking for. But usually for these Madison Square Garden shows, they try to show like illustrious like events, if that makes sense, and they try to have like these historic matches. I'm gonna be honest with you, only one segment's historic, but then again, to be fair, that's how like 90% of the Attitude Era was, and look how historic that show is. Anyway, they kick off the show showing everybody arriving, including Cody. We get a little segment later on in the show with the WWE Champion talking. The actual start for the show is main event Jey Uso arriving through the crowd, and Pat McAfee claims that it is New Yeet City. I kind of like that. Jey Uso gets to the ring. He tries to say something, I think, but A-Town Down Under come out because Greyson Waller is here to take on Jey Uso one-on-one. Jey ends up picking up the win for that match with a spear, and then as soon as he gets the 3 count, all hell breaks loose because Austin Theory tries to jump him, but after a little back and forth, he gets a big Uso splash, and it shows a shot of the hard cam showing Jey being like, yeah, I just hit that, and then Gunther comes up behind him and immediately snatches him, applies a sleeper hold on him until security appears to separate them, and that's how we end the segment. I mean, new week, different way to say he got jumped by Gunther. Commentary wraps up that little segment. Then we see a hype package for the main event. When we come back from a little ad break, Alpha Academy's checking up with Jey. He says he's alright. Otis says, alright, we got your back if you need anything. Then we go back to ringside where Paul Brother comes out and says something, because honestly, I don't care what he said. He skipped it. Some celebrity that's in town got Mike Time, and almost beaten up by the Paul Brother until AJ Styles comes out to save him. He hits a phenomenal forearm on their Paul Brother, which is the highlight of the segment, and hypes up the celebrity, and that's how we end that useless segment. Commentary then shows a highlight of the title match from last week. Watch my review. Wait, title match from last... Did I even do a show last week? Well, I guess I'll make up for that Friday. Alright, anyway, they show a show highlight from last week. Then the New Day come out for their match against Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio. It's a good little match, you know. New Day never have bad matches. Don't fact track me on that. And ends up ending with a luchador that has American made on his mask and a big eagle like spreading its wings. Ends up giving a shitty looking Frankensteiner off of the barricade, and gives, I don't remember which one of the LWO, but one of them a stalled German suplex. Before he is against the barricade again, throws up 2, says gracias, and then he is escorted away by security. The New Day end up winning, by the way, that wasn't a DQ. The New Day end up winning with the backbreaker into a stomp off the top rope that they use. Then we get a recap of what happened last week with Braun Breaker and Finn Balor. After that, we go backstage where Finn's just talking to Carlito, and Carlito's ignoring him the whole time, just talking about apples and talking about the fact that he's a good guy and he's never switched sides like John Cena did. After that, the rest of the JD come into shot, and they explain that Raquel has a match later on tonight against Bayley for the #1 contendership for the IC Championship, and Dom got Finn a title match against Breaker next week, but the way they do it, Liv says that Dom was talking to Adam Pearce, and Finn's like, oh, I bet he talked to get himself a title match, and Dom's like, actually, I got you one. Finn then hugs him because he's so happy for that, leaves out a shot, and Liv tries to like instigate between them, but Dom stays loyal to his friend over the girl. After that, Cody comes out of the top of the hour for the show, and I'm so happy to see him on Raw again. Raw honestly feels like his show. I wish he never left Raw. As he's coming out, they recap on SmackDown. I think he said something about Rock and Cena on there. I don't know. But then he gets on the mic and says that, unlike John Cena, he could be here tonight for the show. He ends up name dropping the corporate group members individually, and then says that John was the captain for Raw WWE, but at WrestleMania, when he gets the chance to break the chance Cena has at 17 title wins, he will figure out that Cody is now the captain. Cue that one meme of "I am the captain now." In the middle, he kind of sounds like he was healing on Cena. He wishes the crowd to be blessed, and then he calls it a night. We then see Raquel and Bayley getting ready to go to the ring for their match up next, and Raquel ends up winning that match with a Tejana bomb. Whenever that match wraps up, I'm trying not to say after that, we go backstage where Kathy Kelly is interviewing Chad Gable. She says that basically he was the masked man, why did he attack him, etc. And then Chad argues that he wasn't the masked man. They have a little back and forth for a little bit until we get a shot of the masked man being escorted out of the ring as he walks away being like, yeah, I told you it wasn't me. After that, Iyo Sky comes out to the ring and Michael Cole has an in-ring interview. It's kind of like the JR sit-down segment, only we're not getting a pre-recording version. We're getting the version where he's just doing it in the ring. He asks her how she feels about being the women's champion. She tries to say something, but it gets cut off immediately with "you deserve it" chants. She says thank you to those. She talks about how it was her dream to be a champion at Madison Square Garden and that she's over the moon that she's going to be going to WrestleMania as champion. Then the true attacker of Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, comes out and says that she was excited for them to be fighting at Mania. It was going to end there, but Michael Cole, as always, ends up instigating it and asks if Bianca wasn't outside last week, then would Rhea still be champion? Bianca says that she was just out there to see who she was challenging at Mania, and to be honest, as soon as Michael Cole asked that question, I knew what was coming up next, like the whole formula of how to get Rhea involved in this. Spoiler alert, Rhea comes out and says that she was just out here to see... And she came out and she tries to ask her, like, what's up with that attack last week? And then makes it personal by bringing up her business with Naomi and Jade. That makes Bianca, like, super pissed, where she calls her out for trying to make up excuses when she lost fair and square to Iyo. Iyo tries to say something, but Rhea shoves her in the face. She, like, what's it called? Like, is it called pie facing, where you just take the palm of your hand and just shove it in somebody's face? And she falls down on the ground. And then Bianca says that if she wants to do it like that, then it's on. Bring it on at any time. And Iyo tries to get up and speak again, but then Bianca just kind of wipes her hand in her face. That makes Iyo mad, who pushes Rhea and then slaps her. Her slap sound is so gentle. And then she pushes Bianca and slaps the dog shit out of her, man. It was so bad. And then she walks out, and then she says that she's the champ and does that. They plug next week's show, and then we get Rollins and Punk walking to the ring as, like, the cage, like, do, like the drop music like that ends up playing. We don't see the cage drop, unfortunately. We just see them walk. But it's okay because the camera shot transitions from, like, a side-by-side footage to a one-shot somehow of Seth coming out. As a digital cinematography guy, I appreciate that. We get our cage match, which, just to give you a heads up, they start off this match hot. As soon as he gets in the cage, I think Seth gets in the cage, yeah, Punk starts beating him down. Also, in case you're curious, this is WWE ruling, so they can escape the cage. They have the classic 30-minute main event match that ends with Seth Rollins making Punk suffer. He does a lot of moves, and I think he's just, like, laying in a couple extra moves over and over again, and he ends up sitting in the corner next to the open cage door when the tribal chief inadvertently helps him win by pulling him out with a chokehold. Seth's feet ends up hitting the ground first, and then he throws him aside. As soon as he realizes what he's done, or I guess he realizes the match is over, he ends up messing up Seth outside with a couple of Superman punches and spears, throws him around ringside, and then gives him a curb stomp on the ground. And he tries to on the steel steps until producers and Adam Pearce ends up stopping him. So, actually, you know what? I'll continue and then I'll get to that note. So, When he refocuses, he sees that Paul Heyman is in the ring comforting Punk, and Reigns comes into the ring to take out Punk, and he ends up spearing him. Heyman's kind of cowering in the corner as he acknowledges the Tribal Chief, and the Tribal Chief throws up the one as we end the show on Roman standing tall. So, right, I think this was supposed to be a heel turn, but also, let's backtrack a little bit. At the Royal Rumble, which that review will be up soon, Seth does something. I'm trying to be discreet so that way I don't spoil my own review. Seth does something in retaliation to Roman, which technically makes him turn heel. But also, if Roman comes back for revenge and does something to Seth, the still babyface, and then takes out Punk, the super hot babyface, does that make him the heel now? I don't know anymore. There's so much gray area and not enough black and white. But I'm not going to complain. It was a good show. Great way to end the show. Brings in hype for Mania. I'll be honest, this triple threat that they're building towards is the only thing I'm excited about on this Mania. The Cena-Cody match could win me back over, but I'm kind of in the middle about it right now. I'm always going to be excited to see Cena, especially during his retirement tour, but I don't know, there's just not enough build up for it, and Cody's only one man. But you know what? It's going to be exciting. I'm going to be ready for it. I'm not going to be cynical about Mania like everybody else is. I'm just looking at it like there's a lot of good champions, and statistically speaking, they could keep their titles. All right, I'm quite rambling now. I'll see you all around. Make sure to tune out. Don't tune out. Let me try again. Make sure to tune in to this channel around Friday. I could be dropping a little gift for you guys if you wanna check it out, just to say thank you. With that being said, I should see you next Monday for the Raw review, or this weekend if I remember. Hopefully I remember, for a PLE, which would be the Royal Rumble of this year, because that's the only pay-per-view of this year that I've missed so far. Yeah, considering we've only had 2 pay-per-views. Yeah. Anyway, I'll see you then.